everyone, what's going on? Joey here, and today we are revealing who is under the mask of the skunk. That's right, we're gonna go through the clues, we're gonna compare the pitch correct audio with the person we think it is, and so much more. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. So as you know, every single Thursday we do a recap of the episode from the day before, and in that video I tell you guys to jump on the community tab here on YouTube and vote for who you want me to reveal this week. And I gave you two choices. One was the Queen of Hearts and the other one was the skunk, and over 3,000 of you guys voted for the skunk. So right now, let's go ahead and break down everything we know. Now keep in mind that the skunk, this is one character that I think we've had the most clues for, because we saw them for episode 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So a lot of clues to go through, so bear with me. And I know you guys are excited for this video because I'm wearing a sweater versus a button down or a polo. Because in my last video, you guys kept on joking. Someone in the comment section was like, he must have like a gazillion shirts in his closet, but he never wears anything else besides collared things. So I decided to wear a sweater, even though, hey Google, what's the temperature? Hey Google, what's the temperature? We're supposed to work together. Hey Google, what's the temperature?
Currently in Queens, it's 62 degrees.
62 degrees. So I'm kind of sweating in this. Thank you, Google. Anyway, let's go ahead and start breaking down the clues, starting off with the pre-season clue. That clue we had was a picture of Elvis. This person has something that relates to Elvis. I know, nothing jumping out at you at the moment, so let's break down episode 1. She says that she chose the skunk because she can relate to the duality of it all, the yin and yang. And while life's not always black and white, there's always two sides to every story, and I'm here to tell mine. Over the years, I've seen it all, honey. There might be some misconceptions that I'm quick to get into a fight, but honey, that couldn't be further from the truth. I've learned you don't always have to react when provoked. Her visual clues was a toy train, a ticket to Seoul, a newspaper asking us if Jenny has lost her mind. I don't think that's a clue, I just like including it. Then we saw a vase with the letter D, a diva, you get it, and a hater spray. The next time we saw her was episode 2. I feel like I'm a forever student, but you know, the biggest life lesson I've ever learned is that life happens. School was always easy for me. I had a full ride scholarship when I got some unexpected news that changed everything. I was forced to take a different course, but I learned that life lessons that I would never get in the classroom. Success isn't measured in a diploma, and it turns out that pivot in my life was the greatest degree I could ever get. That week was the back to school clues, and we saw Ms. Education. Visual clues included a ton of book titles. The next time we saw her was episode 4. She says that I've been to some of the most epic parties around. I mean, the glitz, the glamour, some of the most iconic people in the world. I actually used to be the hostess with the mostest, but these days I limit the people that I allow into my personal space. And as you get older, you realize it's okay to remove the wrong people in your life. Something they brought to the party was a boom box with gospel music playing on it. Visual clues were the puffer fish, cookies, and a disco ball. After that was episode 6. She says, you know, I thought about what life would be if I had a time machine, probably more than the average person, to fix one of my biggest regrets. One night, I let my pride stop me from saying hi to a loved one. Little did I know, I would never get a chance to see them again. If I could do it all over, I would want to give this person a hug. But that one hug could have changed the course of history. Now I have to keep moving forward. That week was the time machine clue, and she had a beeper that said 607 on it, and the visual clues were a top hat. And the last time we saw her was this past episode. She says that some of the stiff competition here is from the bull. He would be the one to beat, bringing all the energy. It makes me rethink some things, really no clues there. I need more passion, I need more emotion, I need more soul. We're gonna win this thing no matter what these other contestants bring. Interestingly enough, there really is no clues in that. The only real clue in that clue package is she says that she's singing Etta James, and she goes on to say that I've been told she would want me to portray her in a movie. Big clue right there. The bling shot was love to Nicole, and the visual clues was an air freshener. I really don't think it's a clue, but anyway, you let me know. So those are all the clues that we have for the skunk. Let's go ahead and break down the pitch correct audio. Now for this past week, we only pitch correct the clue package. They really didn't speak to the judges that much. So I'm gonna play a little bit of their audio and then some of our audio. Here you go.
Now is the semifinals and the pressure is on.
Now is the semifinals and the pressure is on. Really some stiff competition here. It's raising the stakes for me as a performer. Bull, to me, would be the one to beat. He's bringing all the energy.
Now, does that voice sound familiar to you? Because it should. We've been saying this person's name for several weeks now, and Robin has been saying this person's name for several weeks now. That's right, it is Faith Evans! Congratulations, welcome to The Masked Singer, Faith Evans. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and compare the pitch correct audio we have to an interview clip of her. Here you go.
Now is the semifinals and the pressure is on.
I was at that party that night.
Oh yeah, that totally sounds like her, and if that's not icing on the cake, let's go ahead and compare this singing voice.
With your crazy, 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 crazy love. Your life is like a song.
So now that the singing voice and the speaking voice matches up, let's match up some of those clues, starting off with the preseason clue, Elvis. There's actually two answers to this that we've found online. First and foremost, both of them have recorded the same Christmas song, Merry Christmas Baby. Merry Christmas Baby! Or something like that, I don't know. It's I can't do Elvis, so that's the best you're gonna get out of me. And obviously he did it in 1971 and she did it more recent. Now the other one is a little more, I guess, strained on how to get to this one, but this one comes from, I'm gonna give this person credit. This comes from Tiger in My Vein on Reddit. They said Elvis was known by the nickname as The King. And Faith Evans released an album titled The King and I, which featured duets with her late husband, the Notorious B.I.G. So one or two or both of them could work for this, so just kind of pick one. After that, she talked about choosing the skunk because of the yin and the yang. Well, she has a song called Going Out that uses that lyric in it. When she's talking about the misconceptions about her getting into a fight, and she's really a sweet person, well, it's true. There's been a lot of drama in newspapers about things that actually didn't happen. And she kind of got the name of being a diva. Now, there are some crazy things she's talked about in her book, like times that she's caught her husband cheating and things like that. But overall, she really isn't that big of a diva, even though she is on a TV show about divas. Continuing on to the visual clues, we saw the gold toy train and a ticket to Seoul. Well, she is a massive winner on the Soul Train Awards. I think she's won, how many times? 6 times, including a Lifetime Achievement Award. We saw the vase with the D, aka Diva. Well, she's on R&B Divas, Atlanta. So that's a big one right there. Next is episode 2, talking about she was a forever student and that a big thing happened in her life that caused her to change her life forever. And what's interesting is there's actually 2 answers to this, because depending on which publication you go to, whether it's BET, Wikipedia, and other interviews, some of them say that she got pregnant with her daughter China, and so she kind of changed life to going out to LA and living out there. But other ones say that she actually went out to California and started performing for Mary J. Blige and then got pregnant. So depending on which one you think about, they're both kind of right. After that was the book title. Well, she has her own book, Keeping the Faith. I think that's one kind of like, not to say they all have individual meanings, it has one big meaning, just she wrote a book. After that was episode 4, she talked about how she used to be the life of the party and how she limits herself. Well, prior to Biggie Smalls passing, I mean, they used to have crazy parties, especially during her Bad Boy times, Bad Boy Records. And after a while, she kind of like separated herself from the pack, which is why she kind of disappeared for a little bit. She focused more on family and eventually came back. After that, we saw the boombox with gospel music on it. Well, she started off singing gospel music, and in the past, she has released some gospel music. Visual clues were the pufferfish. Well, her and the pufferfish, aka Toy Braxton, who was on this season, she's literally right. Where you at? Where you at? She's hiding. Where you at? Right there. They did the Gladys Knight tribute together. They actually sang, I think, 2 songs. After that, we saw cookies. Well, it's actually really interesting because you can argue this one, but I kind of think that it is true to the clues and the backstory. You know that TV show Empire? A lot of people say that Cookie, I believe, what's her full name? It's Cookie Lennox? Sorry, I haven't watched the show. A lot of people say that that character is based off of Faith. So that's a pretty cool clue right there. Next was a disco ball that relates to her song Love Like This, which samples the funk song Scherzinger. I think that's 1978. It's a funk/disco song. Next was episode 6, talking about regrets and if she could do the thing over and hug this person over again. Well, this is obviously the nail in the coffin for this being Faith Evans, because as you know, she lost Biggie Smalls after a big party. You know, they left. They actually didn't really even speak to each other. They had their friend, I think Chester, come over and say, like, acknowledge that Biggie was there, but Biggie never went down to her to say hello, and they were kind of going through a weird thing. You know, even though they were married, he was cheating a lot. There was a lot of things going on, a lot of rumors going on. So she kind of, like, didn't want to, like, swallow her pride, so she just kind of, like, didn't acknowledge him as much. You know, they still loved each other, but they were just kind of like, whatever, it is what it is. Just kind of, like, really stagnant in the air. And obviously, not too long afterwards, I heard the gunshots and Biggie was dead, and so she regrets not hugging him, and that time machine would have definitely came in handy in that situation. The next clue after that was the beeper with 607 on it, and this is a big clue right here. A lot of young folks, including myself, didn't know this one because I never had a beeper as a kid. You know, we grew up with the flip, I think the flip phone or the Razor was like my first major phone I ever had, and it was Nextel. And so we never really had to deal with pretty much typing on a beeper. And so when you got the message 607 on it, actually means I miss you. Now, how does this relate? Well, she put out a song called I Miss You, I think with DMX, and that's all about Biggie Smalls and how much she misses him. The visual clue, the top hat, well, Faith Evans is known for her hats. I think it's kind of a nod to Biggie. And if you go through her, literally Google it. She's got so many pictures with her in different kinds of hats. Fedoras, top hats, you name it. Now, the last clues were from this past week's episode, and the only big clue during that whole thing was the Etta James clue, aka her saying that Etta would want her to play her in a movie. In a 2002 interview on Vibe, which I don't even know, is this magazine still around? I just want to pull this clip out. Evans' vocal capabilities and down-to-earth demeanor have won her admirers among the early generation of R&B. Oh, I love Faith, says the legendary 60s crooner Etta James, who likens Evans to a blues singer. I was watching her perform on BET's Girls' Night Out, and she was singing her butt off. The other girls who are out now are so busy worrying about how cutie pie they are, but Faith isn't fake. She's coming with who she is. So that clue totally adds up. Now, that's everything I have. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think that it is Faith Evans? Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and don't worry, I'm working on a reward for you guys if we do that. So stay tuned, and I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Joey. Stay safe. See you later. Bye.